numbering, yeah, but this is a big herd, isn't it?
Let's hope that's not tragic.
Get back!
Where are we? Getting by.
Alrighty, let's get serious here.
Here I am! Going for it!
On top of it.
Ouch.
Find that.
Gotta find somewhere to hide. No! Ah. Fine.
Anybody up for a light?
I'm gonna stop.
Good grief.
Say your prayers!
I'm for if you guys are.
Why did these guys have to be in such an open area?
Here we are. No quarter.
Ouch.
You'd never ask! Gotcha!
Alrighty, let's start using some of this stuff.
Gladio, do it! No cause for concern. Die on me.
Alrighty.
Proto! Nice one, Proto. Hey, Ignis, instructions!
New mark, Proto.
You got all those arms at your disposal?
No big deal. All right, we're done here.
Huh. Okay. That was a little harder than I expected, but hey, I got probably a whole good ton of experience for that, so... 361 experience from one battle. Well, 2 battles. But probably most of it from there is nothing to sneeze at, so... Okay, more than... Anyway! Alrighty. So what I'm gonna do... I am going to check my map here. See what's close. That one is close. We're gonna, you know what we're gonna do? We are going to mark that. And we are gonna head over that way. Finish out the day. And then we'll return to our car in a bit. Because, to be honest, This area is about where I encountered my first Iron Giant, which is also the first battle I ran from.
Can't stop now. What can I say? Whose side are you on? Didn't mean to do that. And on we go.
Indeed.
Right.
It's not gonna let me jump up that elementals. Here's ice. Oh wait, no, here's lightning. Top that off.
I am not into wild.
Stop bitching, start killing.
One shot.
Done in a minute.
Time to spare. Let's be done with this riffraff.
This sounds like you're having fun.
Let's see, here's ice. Ice is full. Is there fire anywhere around here? Yes, fire is right there, which is on the other side.
You want to make camp?
Fire is full. Alrighty. I guess I'm full up again.
Let's call it a day.
All right. I'm gonna pitch the tent.
Alrighty. Crown City dive style dumplings. Not bad. You need bullet shanks. I don't know where that even is. Somebody's... Oh. I have the weed. So I don't have the bullet shank. Definitely have enough peppers, though. What's this? Fisherman's favorite patella. Let's see here. Oh, paella. That makes a little more sense. Attack boost level 12, regen boost level 1, HP boost level 12. Mollusk. Shrimp. Alrighty. You know what? We're gonna go with this potato dish here. Because that helps build meter. So when Noctis has his favorite food, it helps build up special meter for everyone else. I don't know why you would serve French fries with side of lemon, or maybe that's lime. The Japanese have a thing for fries. That's just one of those things. I mean, like, all the kids over there will, like, go to McDonald's and, oh, hey, photography skill leveled up. Oh, that's pretty nice. That's a good shot. I like.
Stylish as always.
Come now, it's nothing special.
These are also good. He really is taking
Perfect
better
timing.
photos. I like them all. So
I'm good to go. Just about awake.
alrighty, let's head off in the direction of the car. And whatever we have to kill along the way is all good in my book. Oh, hey. You know what? We're gonna switch a little bit here. We gotta switch this first. Bioblaster is nice, but I kind of want to see this in action, and since I can't figure it out, I'm gonna let him figure it out.
You don't want to talk.
Locked rules!
No big deal.
Gotcha!
I knew what hit him.
This shouldn't take long.
You said it.
No more us for where?
Bonus to this is that we also get to increase Gladio's survival skill by doing this hoofing it here, so...
Feels so sluggish.
Yeah.
You can tell I'm getting tired, I'm being less chatty.
Howdy.
Yep, far cry from life back home.
My favorites. I won't call Final Fantasy VIII a favorite of mine. It's definitely not in the top 5, but I do like it. I think that if you play it the way it was probably intended to be played, it's a solid little title, and it's got a fairly well-executed love story, as I said. The animation is gorgeous. It definitely remains the prettiest PS1 Final Fantasy of the main series. Which, don't get me wrong, I like 9, but it was
Take it in.
definitely limited by
Nice place
style.
to visit, but I wouldn't want to live here.
So, Final Fantasy IX Final Fantasy IX is in my top 5, and I will say that it really represents kind of both a return to form and also the end of an era, because it's really the last one that was truly fantasy in many ways. I mean, that's just kind of how a cookie crumbles. was a very kind of Western fantasy kind of world, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but you can only do Western fantasy so many times. Which is why Final Fantasy X was so, darn it, so popular in Japan, was because it wasn't a Western fantasy.
Everything in order?
It wasn't,
Yep.
you know, swords and sorcery style, kind of environment, world, and everything else. It was actually the first one that was Asian. And you can see a lot of that in Ten's design, is that Asian influence, especially when it comes to like Yuna's outfit, you know, some more of the themes of the kind of more spiritualism, animism type thing with the Fireflies, rather than the very Christian roots which they had to censor in the early Final Fantasies, where it was like you went to a Christian chapel to get revived, and they had to censor that stuff because of Nintendo's policies. So when you actually look at 10 with how it handled things with, again, you know, the Fireflies, the Sendings, that kind of stuff, that felt more like being at home in Japan. It was, Final Fantasy X did very well worldwide, but it was basically the first one. It was in Japan what 7 was in America. So 10 is also in my top 5. So it's a very well put together game.
Let's head on out.
It's a very pretty game. It has aged incredibly well, all told. The HD remaster was a little disappointing because I kind of wanted it to do more. It was really a fresh coat of paint and nothing more, which still doesn't sit well with me. It's one of those things where they could have put in a little extra effort to make it, you know, prettier, and they chose not to. They chose to keep those flat surfaces flat, and you know, that kind of stuff, where they really could have, especially with important details. On the PS2 it didn't matter, because you couldn't see that stuff with the low resolution, but important details like Yuna's, oh, for crying out loud. Is this gonna come back? This is gonna come back. Okay, anyway, so, important details like Yuna's dongle, those types of things, Lulu's hair, that kind of stuff really should have gotten more polygons to it to make it look better, instead of just repainting what they had. Alrighty. We're gonna do this right here.
What's the forecast?
Clear skies with the temperature rising.
Nice.
Anyway, it's just one of those things where they could have done better, and they chose not to. Which was very disappointing, and especially where it's just like, they were talking about like, oh, you know, it would have been easier in many respects to just start over, and it's like, you know what? Why did you not do that then? I mean, they were doing all of this stuff to preserve some of the original models, and it's just like, they weren't improving on them though, so it's just like, oh hey, you know, we're gonna give these old, terrible models that really hid behind their limited resolution a fresh coat of paint. We're not going to do anything for the animation in the entire game. We're not going to do anything to improve those NPC models. We're just going to repaint them. And it's just like, this doesn't look very good. And then when the PS4 version came out, it's just like, oh yeah, like, we're gonna actually redo certain NPC models. So it's just like, how important are these characters? There's important characters that got a little of that love, but at the same time, I did that way. But, I mean, certain models of imports got a little of that TLC, but that was it. It was just... We're gonna collect some green peas here.
Ready for more?
You bet.
Let's hit it.
But, people like Barad and Yankee, they got some care taken for their models, but you only see those guys like, I don't know, what, 3 times throughout the entire game, so even though they're actually fairly important story-wise, they're not what you're seeing all the time, and so you've got all of these, like, really important scenes, like Yuna leaving on the boat and that kind of stuff, like, basically being performed
Should be a nice
by
change of pace.
the equivalent of Origami in comparison. It's just... They should have done a more consistent job of it, I think. And especially when it's just like, hey, we repainted the, party models again. Great, did you do anything about, the rest of it? No, not really.
Huh?
It was very disappointing for me. And I understand the amount of work that it took, to get things to work correctly with the different aspect ratio, and I can appreciate that stuff, but you can't just go and say like, oh, we put all of this work into just a few items here,
Everything in order?
Yep.
All right.
Like, if you're going to call it a remaster, you really should fully remaster it. And I understand why they did it the way they did, but they shouldn't have acted like this was preserving something. They should have just admitted, like, hey, we did what we thought was important, not like, here, take these horrible, crappy models and be happy with it because we salvaged them instead of doing something newer and better. Just, you can't make that argument. You're not allowed to say like, oh, we did all of this work to preserve it, and we could have done something newer and better more easily, but we didn't because we love you guys. It's just like, no. Quality is important. Like, if it would have been easier to do something newer and better, do something newer and better. And I'll make my way down there. But first I'm gonna make my way over here. Because there's only so much
Everything in order?
Eiger root
Yep. Mm-hmm.
in the area. And gas is astonishingly cheap in this game, so... I hate to say it, but if you were in America and, like, paying for gas, there are still places where people pump your gas for you. New Jersey, it is actually illegal to pump your own gas, believe it or not, which blew my mind when I found that out. It's just like, wait, you still have somebody out there pumping your gas, and it's just like, I'm sure it has to do with some sort of archaic law, but it's just, that's the way it is out there, so... If you go out there, you can expect somebody to actually, come out to the pump and do all of that good stuff. Not necessarily wash your car off like Cindy does, but somebody will pump your gas. They have to, or you're not getting any. So, but most places in America, as far as I know, and certainly any place that I've been, you pump your own darn gas. I mean, if you're in Wisconsin like I am, and you are out there in the cold waiting for somebody to take care of that stuff for you, you're going to be waiting for a real long time. And I mean, it's not like we don't have cold here too. We're in the middle of our own winter, so it just I turned that on just to have it for the next session because I am working on 30 minutes again here. But you know, it's not like we don't have winter here in Wisconsin. We've got winter probably roughly the same as New Jersey has winter. So, I honestly don't know if they're warmer than we are or what their snowfall is like, but I know it gets cold over there and we get cold over here too, so we're just expected to go out there and freeze our own butts.
Who's up for a hike?
Anyway, back to my favorite Final Fantasies. So I said 9, I said 10. I said that 8 wasn't in my top 5, but I do have a soft spot for it. And, I wonder if this is even based on anything. These kind of look like lettuce. Or cabbage. Anyway, so Final Fantasy VII is in my top 5. I know that sounds really, really, really cliche, but you know what? I appreciate it for what it is. It is definitely overrated, but it's also overhated. People who think they're being cool will say, oh, you know, Final Fantasy VII, it's so overrated, and blah blah blah, it's not even that good of a game, blah blah blah. And it's one of those things where, oh, I am coming up on that 30 minutes. It's one of those things where it's a solid game. And for the product of its time that it did a lot of things really well. So, I'm going to cut this session off here and then I will continue on my 7 tirade here. So,